This is Gunnedah Field Day, Agquip. We just come up to have a look around for the day. I got here a bit early, it's only 7:30 and the gates don't open till 9 o'clock. Well, we're at the Warrumbungles, in the Warrumbungles, just west of Coonabarabran. We left the Agquip show about an hour and a half ago and drove out to here. We walked around Agquip, our legs nearly fell off. We never seen it all, but you need 2 days to see it properly. So we've come out here and we're going to camp here tonight. There's a lot of kangaroos out here. We were out here about 5 years ago and there was heaps of them down the camping area in the morning. The kids were feeding them. That's the Siding Springs Observatory. Got our motel room all set up. Where we're going to sleep tonight. Got a good view out of the back of the car anyway. A little bit cool here last night. The car's covered in ice. This is White Gum Lookout in the Warrumbungles. What's left of old volcanoes. This is Pilliga. It's about 100 kilometres northwest of Coonabarabran. Our next stop is Walgett, 100 kilometres. This is a dirt road we're travelling on. Doing 110 kilometres an hour. We're out in the middle of somewhere heading for Walgett. Roads are all like this. Back along the road there was a sign said these roads are impassable when wet. I can understand why, they're just black clay. Just come over a rise in the road back there and there was a couple of vans pulled up and a heap of people on the road. They were making a movie. I don't know why the hell they'd be out here. We've been on this road for ages and still going. That's a little town there called Come By Chance. Not much there. I think they've got to be joking. Neighbourhood watch, there's only 6 houses in the whole town. And it's absolutely out in the middle. It's more desolated out here in the Northern Territory. Took us about an hour to get here. Never seen a human being except that film crew. We've just come off the gravel road about 10 k's from Walker. We're just coming into the wheat field. This is Walgett. This Walgett must be a pretty bad place. Every single shop has got bars on the windows in the main street. Yeah, we're 70 k's from Lightning Ridge. I just stopped to have a look at a big wheat storage silos. Yeah, they're all green, all under green canvas. There's a fair bit of wheat under there. They're all over the place, those silos. It's 28 degrees here. I'd hate to say how hot it gets out here in summer. That's what you call a flying van. We're at Lightning Ridge. We're just about to have a look around. It's Lightning Ridge, Main Street. We're at the hot water bars at Lightning Ridge, where the water comes up out of the ground. Mineral water. We're just going to go and have a swim. We didn't go in for a swim back at the heated pools. We're going to go back later on. We just come out here to the walk-in opal mine and have a look around. That's the underground mine. We're just going to have to go for a walk through it. Looks like it goes down a fair way. Go and have a look. They started in 1964 and they've worked it out, so they've just opened it up to the public, this mine. Looks like a little workshop down there. That's where we come down the steps there. That's where we've got to go down through there. That old fella in there had enough. We're in a little video room 100 metres under the ground. It's at the end of the mine. We're just watching a video all about how opals are formed. Yeah, the video we just watched went for half an hour. It was good. Looks like a little tunnel going off up into there. Timber holding up the roof. Oh, we're just at the door on the way out. We can feel the heat already. Must be nearly 30 degrees out there now. That's the showroom down on the ground down under there.
Not in Ridge Caravan.
I live pretty rough out here. All the mullock heaps from the opals. Mines. That's the bottle house. It's fully made out of bottles. It's a museum too. A few bottles there. We had a look around Lightning Ridge. There wasn't a great deal there to see. So we're heading for Coonabarabran. About 100 k's. We're taking the back roads. Probably more to see along the back roads. Coonabarabran towards Moree. We'll go that Coonabarabran, then keep on going through to Moree. You've got to be careful. Around here there's no fences on the edge of the road. All the way along the road there's dead kangaroos where people have hit them.
cheap.
It's good driving though, you can sit on 120 kilometres an hour. Consider it's only dirt. No other cars on the road at all. That sheep just walked out on the edge of the road there and laid down. I wanted something for tea too. Which one can I get? That one. No. You better watch out for them too, along the roads. Coonabarabran that way, 37. Some of these dirt roads out here are better than our highways. These yellow floodway signs. Hang on, Christo's trying to steer the car with one hand and she's lost control of it. Yeah, all along the road here there's yellow floodway signs. This must all go underwater. You wonder why. It's pretty dry out here. Main street of Coonabarabran. Not much happens in these towns of a day. All night. No one around much. On the big irrigation channels up just out of Coonabarabran. Comes through here, it looks like a floodgate of some description. And goes down that way, I think. Or it might come back the other way. Just stopped in here, a little place along the road called Warrumbungle. These are Warrumbungle carved trees. Aborigines carved them. Looks like they've cut them down and put them in here. But they're all spread through the bush apparently. We're right out in the middle of nowhere. And this poor old dog's tied up beside the road.
It's a caca.
Looks like an esky in that there and someone keeping water up to it, but God only knows who, right out here. And why it's tied up here, because there's nothing around. We're at Moree. We just stopped at this tavern. Got a big plane out the front and it looks like there's a walkway goes up into it. You must be able to go up and sit in it and drink or have a meal or something, I don't know. It's different. Coonabarabran had a van with wings on it. At least Moree's got a proper plane. We left Moree about half an hour ago. We're heading for a Warrumbungle. It's over towards the coast a bit. 100 kilometres towards Inverell from Moree. At Inverell Transport Museum. We've had a drive around town. It's a big town, Inverell, bigger than I thought. Nice town. That's a 67 model two-door Falcon. Didn't know they ever made one. That's a nice Falcon. They're all privately owned. They're all owned by people around Inverell district. They just leave them here on show. The main street of Inverell. That's down one way. It's probably got the best main street of any town I've ever been in. Had a lot of shops. Well, Inverell certainly got my vote for the best town I've ever seen. Nicest buildings. It's a river that runs past the town. It's right on the edge of town. In 1991 they had big floods here. It washed that bridge away. Suspension bridge down there. And the whole town had about 3 metres of water down the main street. That's the suspension bridge that got washed away. The biggest flood they've ever had. There's a photo of it getting washed away in the museum, and the water's over the top of the walkway, so we'd be sitting in about 4 metres of water now, where we are now, in the main street. That was Inverell. I'd like to come here in summer when all the trees are out in flower. It'd be a nice place. We're on the old Grafton Road. It goes from Glen Innes through to Grafton. It's supposed to be a pretty nice sort of a drive. It's about 90 kilometres. So far it looks alright. This would be a nice spot in the middle of summer. Little picnic area over there. Nice spot. I'd go for a swim, except that water's about 5 degrees. Freezing. We stopped in at Glen Innes and we asked the woman at the information centre what this road was like, and she said, oh, it's alright, but she said, you've got to watch out for hippies. Looks like she wasn't joking. There's a sign there. Only a narrow road, but not a bad drive. I'm going to fall over the edge here, straight down to the water, through to the road. They were the cut through. This is the old original convict road to Glen Innes to Grafton. They were cut through by convicts. Cut straight through the rock. swallow like in there. It's pretty hard cutting through there too. That's all blue metal, that hard, real hard rock. Cut all through there by hand. All the way along this road we've been seeing trees like this. There must be some sort of a plum tree, maybe the convicts planted them when they built the road. They're all the way along. We're getting right down towards the Grafton end of the river now. That's what's left of the pylons on the old bridge. Must be plenty of power in this river when it comes down. A couple more laying up under them bushes there. Well, this morning we're at Kingaroy. We left Moree yesterday morning and drove across to the coast to Grafton, then drove straight up to Brisbane and left Brisbane this morning early, about 6 o'clock, and it's now about 8:30, and we're at peanut country. We're on our way out to Carnarvon Gorge. We should be there in about another 3 or 4 hours. They're the big peanut silos that hold all the peanuts in. We're at Roma. It's about 500 kilometres inland from Brisbane. It's about the second last stop before we go up to Carnarvon Gorge. I think that's a big gas tower. There must be natural gas out here, or oil or something. Yeah, it must be gas. We've been driving since about 6 o'clock this morning. It's now 4:30. We're about half an hour off Carnarvon Gorge, so I hope it's worth it. It must be about 800 kilometres inland from Brisbane, where we left this morning. So I hope it's worth it. First couple of hundred kilometres was alright, going after leaving Brisbane, but after that it just was all bush and scrub. Good roads, all straight road, but not a lot to see. Anyway, I hope it's pretty good when we get in there. We must be getting close. Looks like some hills out there in the distance. By the map, we've only got about another 15 or 20 minutes to go. The sign back up on the hill said, "Beware fast flowing stream." They got to be joking. Even got wheat fields way out here. The first wheat fields I've seen for about 500 or 600 k's, huh? And this is what you got to watch along these roads. There are kangaroos dead everywhere. I don't know, they told us there was 40 kilometres of gravel road, but I don't know where the hell it is. We've been over about a kilometre of gravel road and that was it. Because they said if it rains while we're in here, we won't get out. Maybe they meant just because of the creek, I don't know. Don't know what the name of God's that? Never seen anything like that before. Wonder what it is. Weird. They said there's some weird wildlife out here, I believe it. Looks like a deformed emu. It's pretty big. Another one of them fast flowing streams. They probably would flow pretty fast too after a bit of rain. This is the Oasis Lodge in Carnarvon Gorge. Oh yeah, they got a little shop in that. We did hit the gravel road. There was about 20 kilometres of it and it was pretty rough too. A couple of clay hills, I'd say, when they get wet. Won't be able to get back up, that's probably what they was talking about. Well, we're in Carnarvon Gorge parking area. We stayed last night and we're just about to go for a walk. It's 6:30. Bit overcast, looks like it might rain. Last night they put a slideshow on the ranges. And they were saying that these cycad palms grow a foot every 100 years. So they'd be about 800 year old, those ones. There's some in the park that are 3,000 year old. Park headquarters. This is a place called the Amphitheatre. It's about 5 or 6 kilometres up the valley. Can't you go a bit faster? It'll be lunchtime before you get to the top. Oh well. Just don't break your legs because I'm not carrying you out. Keep going. Oh, at last. It only took you half an hour to get up there. Is it? Yeah, that's what they call the amphitheatre. That's where we come in, through that little crack there. We just walked 11 kilometres to see this. Some Aboriginal cave paintings. This is as far as the walking trail goes. We're in the jungle now. Well, we just left Carnarvon Gorge. We walked up the gorge and back, walked 25 kilometres, and now we can hardly walk at all. So we're going to have to drive for a while, I think. My feet are so sore and my legs are so sore, I don't think I'll walk for another week. Anyway, it's not a bad place to visit. We're at Gladstone. We just stayed just up a couple of 100 yards up the road in a caravan park. We've gone for a bit of a walk this morning to try and get our legs moving again after that big walk yesterday. This is the wharf area at Gladstone. Big pile of wood chips. Over there's where they load the coal. There's lots of little islands out in the harbour. That's down over the foreshore area. We're at the Mystery Crate, it's just outside of Bundaberg. Big holes in the rock, no one knows how they got there. Couple of cane toads in that hole there. A collection of old lawnmowers. Little cane train heading for the Bundaberg distillery probably. This is Bundaberg. Looks like a really nice town. This is the main street. Yeah, get on. This place has got really nice buildings like Inverell. It's got a really long main street, it's about 2 kilometres long. This is a park in the middle of town. This is the river runs right alongside the city. Really nice old houses around, all painted up. This is a park along the edge of the river. That's a Hog's Breath Cafe. It's a cactus garden in the park in town. We stayed here last night in Bundaberg. That's a river just behind the caravan park where we stayed. Yeah, I thought Inverell was a nice town, but I think Bundaberg's better. I haven't seen any main streets as good as this one. Pub in the main street. We're on a beach out off Bundaberg at Bagara. Looks like there's going to be a jet ski race or something on here. Strange because it's Wednesday, a weekday. Must be a pretty big deal. They got the TV cameras and everything here. I like the headgear he's got on. They got some pretty good gear here. They must be going to have marching girls and everything. Coonabarabran Beach. It's down the beach from the park. Elliot Heads, it's just out off Bundaberg. It's a river, where the river runs into the ocean. They certainly grow a bit of everything up here. They're watermelons. And over the back there's tomatoes. And I've seen strawberries. And anywhere there's not anything else, there's sugarcane. They're tomatoes right over the back. Nearly ready to be picked. They're just picking some potatoes. We used to grow potatoes when we was on the farm. We never ever got that many. That's the best crop of potatoes I've ever seen. Potatoes as far as you can see, just about ready to be picked. They've even got sweet corn. We're going in here to have a look how barrels are made. And then we're going to go down to the rum distillery place. Yeah, it looks like he's just making one of them little barrels. There's all the little barrels there. Got a fella in there blowing glass. Making all sorts of things out of glass. Geez, there's lots of things in here made out of wood. You got pottery in there too. That's for sale, $700. All made out of wood. That too. We've just signed up for a tour through the rum distillery. Well, we went through the rum distillery and now we're at the Botanic Gardens. We're at Inskip Point and the barge has just come in from Fraser Island. That's Fraser Island over there in the background. There's another barge going out. We left Bundaberg and come down and stayed at Harvey Bay, and we just come down to Tin Can Bay. We're probably going to go over onto the beach and go back down the beach to Noosa. The weather doesn't look real good out there. We're going to go across on the Fraser Island. There's only one problem. I can't walk. That 25k walk I did buggered one of my knees up. I can only walk about. I'm battling to get in and out of the car, so we're going to have to leave that for another day. A nice little spot down here too. That's where we come out onto the sandbar over in them trees over there. Nice little beach just opposite Fraser Island on the mainland. That's the coloured sands over in the distance. We're just going to drive down along this beach till we get to them. Nice beach. It's the beginning of the coloured sands. All the differences in the coloured sands. We're on the beach at Noosa, just north of Noosa. We're going to come all the way down along this beach to Noosa from Fraser Island, but I run over a rock sticking out of the sand and bent one of my rims. So I had to go back and change it and put my spare on. It's 100 kilometres down the beach. I didn't want to risk getting a flat tyre with no spare. So I've still got no spare tyre, so I've got to be careful where I go. I just go onto this beach just here. We drove down the highway into Noosa and just come over onto this beach. Well, it must be time for an update. We're nearly home. We're actually just outside of Nowendock. We've come down the New England Highway and we're going to cut across through Gloucester. It's 5 degrees. About 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We've been going through a fair bit of rain. The sun's just come out across the hills there. We left Caloundra. There wasn't much else we could do, so we just decided to drive straight through and come home. Left Caloundra we left Brisbane about 8:30 this morning. We should be home soon. Blast of the sun's just hitting the top of the hill. Yeah, here we are back home again. We came home last night. We left Brisbane about 8:30. Drove through, had a look at a few things on the way home. Got home about 7 o'clock last night. The car looks like needs a good wash. Lucky I didn't get any coppers following me. Certainly can't see the number plate. We did 4,500 kilometres, and about 2,500 kilometres of those were on dirt roads out west. But anyway, that's what we bought it for. That's what happens to a mag rim when you hit a rocket sticking out of the sand by about 8 inches at 80 kilometres an hour. They bend. And it serves me right for not watching where I was going. I was too busy watching the coloured sands on the side of the hill and not watching what was on the beach in front of me. It's a wonder it didn't rip the whole front end out of the car.